In 1949, a young Australian couple arrived in Britain with a mind-reading act so accomplished, no one could work out how they did it.
They were hugely successful. Even the magicians couldn't work out what they were using.
Sidney Piddington, for 3 years, had the most famous voice in this country.
Now concentrate on the line while I attempt to transmit it to Leslie.
People would concentrate on something in the studio with Sidney Piddington. Leslie Piddington, somewhere far away, would tell them what it was.
Mind reading wasn't new, but by the end of the Piddingtons' first radio series, 20 million listeners were tuning in, hooked and mystified. Were the couple performing clever mental tricks, or did they really have telepathic powers? This is the story of mind magic, one kind of magic that still begs the question, is it real?
When somebody crawls into your mind and suddenly tells you what you're thinking, it turns your whole world upside down. Hi, I'm Mark. I'm going to amaze you. I'm going to read your mind. Can I stop you? Have you got 2 minutes? Okay, and what I want you to do is to write a 3-digit number, okay? But don't show me. Go and get a paperback book, any book you like. You can't actually see, there's no pinholes or anything like that.
I just pick anything?
Yeah? None of us can see. I'm going to look away. Mentalism is basically doing magic tricks with a mental flavour. Do you have some money on you? Have you got some money? Don't take it out yet.
Yeah.
You've got is it a note or is it coins?
Yeah, it's notes.
A note. All right, I'm going to put this on.
Okay. Okay, I'll just pick this one.
I'll just pop a rubber band around that, and what I want you to put your hand on top. Can you see the serial numbers? I think they're down the edge, yeah? Just rub your fingers on it and touch my back with your fingers. Touch my back. That's a fiver. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flick through the pages of the book. I want you to say stop at some point.
Okay, stop.
There. Have a look at the first couple of words on the page. First couple of words. Don't say what they are, but just remember the first couple of words, yeah? In fact, think about the digits. Think about the digits. It begins with an H, yes?
It does.
And another H.
Yes.
There's an H. Think about the first digit. Second digit. Third digit. Think about the first word. Think about the first word.
Okay.
First word, just excellent. Okay. I'm going to go with that. One. There's a one. Yes?
Yeah, that's right.
And another one?
Yes.
Second word, that's excellent. I've written something down, and it ends with 4.
Oh my God.
Is that right?
How did you do that?
And I think in all of magic, the mental effects are the strongest. They're the most powerful effects. What's the number you're thinking of?
468.
Whoa! No! And I think they affect an audience on a very deep level as well. Out loud, what are the words you're thinking of?
Send him. Oh my God! Oh my God! How did you do that?
No way. No way.
How did you do that? That's crazy.
That's just freaky. That is, you're weird. Go away!
In today's world, most magic has a problem. Audiences know too much. We may still enjoy magic shows, and yet we're fairly clear that what we're seeing is a trick. So why does mind magic, sometimes known as mentalism, still have the power to truly astonish us?
Well, people are interested in mind magic because it might be real. We all have experiences where we have premonitions, the phone rings, and I sometimes do know who's on the other end of it. So mind magic has this quality that maybe it really is real.
The earliest mind magic routines were called second sight acts and emerged in the late 18th century. This may have been the age of reason, but the superstitious belief in second sight or clairvoyance was common. Mind magic tapped into this.
As an entertainment, the earliest we know would be Giuseppe Panetti. an Italian performer who did a variety of types of magic in about 1780. And he did this second sight routine with his wife. His partner was blindfolded and seated in the performing area, and he would go to the audience and have them hold up articles. He would say, "What's this?" And his wife would say what it was with amazing accuracy. And people would say, "Well, he must be telling her some way," but they couldn't find a way. At least superficially, this is presumably being done by some telepathic communication. And maybe it is. Who are we to say?
I don't know why it was decided that it was a male-female thing like this, except that they used to sell the idea that the man and woman were in rapport with one another since they'd been married for 30 years or some such thing. I find that the longer you're married, the worse the rapport gets, but that's a different matter altogether. I think that perhaps it started out as a couple act like that because you have to be together for a long, long time. This is not the kind of thing that you develop in 2 weeks to go onto the vaudeville circuit with. No, it takes many years to develop it.
I think that when people see a second sight act, obviously the first thing they think of is that there's some sort of a verbal code. That when the front person is talking to the medium, he's actually doing a sort of double meaning talk. So he says some convoluted sentence. Instead of saying, "What am I holding?" he says, "Please tell me, if you will, what am I holding now, right now, please, right away." And some really awkward thing. What makes a good second sight act exciting is that the performers know that the audience has this suspicion, and therefore they don't do that.
But of course we've got another thing here too. We've got timing, and we've got throat clearing, and we've got and various things like that that seem innocuous, but which can provide a great deal of information if they're properly developed.
170 years later, audiences were just as mystified by Leslie and Sidney Piddington's second sight act. This they developed for the radio, a modern medium for transferring thoughts, in a way that would have seemed frighteningly magical to the Pinetti's audiences.
We always insisted that the show must be live, because even though things were fairly crude in those days from the point of view of broadcasting, you could still fiddle around with things, and we wanted it to be absolutely live so people knew what was going out was happening at that time.
It's on paper. Or someone's giving a crossword puzzle.
We had people who got us mixed up with old clairvoyants and hypnotists and heaven knows who else. It was amazing, some of the things they thought we could do.
Off on a mystery trip from Filton Airfield, Bristol, goes a Stratocruiser.
The Stratocruiser was something that I remember better than anything.
Its passenger of honor, Leslie Piddington, the female half of the husband and wife team who each week baffle 20 million radio listeners. This is to be their most exacting test yet. The object? To transmit a train of thoughts to Mrs. Piddington 20,000 feet up from a studio in Piccadilly. The subject to be transmitted is chosen at random, and Piddington first hears of it from one of the judges.
She is now standing by.
A bird? Saying hello. I can't make sense out of it. Oh, it's two lines. Bird, spirit. Hello. Oh, I've got it. I can guess it.
And I do remember it. Hail to thee, blind spirit. Bird thou never wert.
I think that's very nice. In fact, whoever thought of it? Hail to thee.
But the Piddington stunt that caused the greatest stir of all was their 1949 Tower of London broadcast, when Leslie, secured in the Bloody Tower, correctly quoted a line from a book, apparently transmitted to her by her husband miles away in Broadcasting House.
The thing that was so effective about the Tower of London was sheer luck. Sid, of course, was in the studio in London. I was in the tower.
At the sound of the gong, I want your complete silence, your sympathy and your cooperation.
But